Good evening all.
Good evening.
So I will start with the mission statement of Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International is a leading movement devoted to making effective oral communication a worldwide reality. Through its member clubs, Toastmasters International helps men and women learn the art of speaking, listening and thinking, the vital skills that promote self-actualization, enhance leadership potential, foster human understanding and contribute to the betterment of mankind. It is basic to this mission that Toastmasters International continually expand its worldwide network of member firms, thereby offering ever greater number of people that opportunity to benefit from its programs. The mission of this club. The mission of a Toastmaster club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has an opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. I will now hand over the proceedings to presiding officer.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Before we begin the contest, we have a couple of members who joined us, and I'd like to administer the oath of the Toastmasters Club to some of those members. So members to whom I have written and who have confirmed that they will come in, please come out. May I request you all to raise your right hand, and your response will be, I will. The Toastmasters promise. Being a Toastmaster means more than simply making a commitment to self-development. Everyone who joins a Toastmasters club is making a commitment to the club, to its members, and to the organization as a whole. This is the Toastmasters promise. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly. Your response, I will. To all of my speech, to prepare all of my speech and leadership projects to the best of my ability, basing them on projects in the Competent Communication Manual, Advanced Communication Manuals, or the Competent Leadership Manual. I will. To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments. I will. To provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations. I will. To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow. I will. To serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so. I will. To treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy. I will. To bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers. I will. To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs. I will. To maintain honest and highly ethical standards during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. I will. Thank you, and you are all now members of the Toastmasters, having taken up the promise. Vikram Bhai, Soham San, Vinay. Thank you very much. Okay, so now let's begin the contest. And as we begin the contest, I would like to call upon the contest chair today, Madam Toastmaster Nilufar.
Toastmaster Shivani, do we have a first aid kit at our disposal?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Well, our contestants are really well prepared for today's humorous speech contest, and to avoid any casualties while you are rolling in laughter and falling off your chairs, we are ensuring all necessary precautions are taken. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Is this the same BTM club that I've always heard praises about? Where is the cheer? Where is the laughter? Good evening!
Good evening.
That's better. Before we proceed with today's session, the contest, let me make a couple of announcements. I would request you all to put your noise-making devices on silent mode. No flash photography is permitted during the contest. Photographs may be taken after the contest. Once the contest has begun, the Sergeant-at-Arms will secure the door. Members of the audience are asked to refrain from leaving or entering the room during the contest. If you must leave the room, do so only during the minute of silence between the contestants. After the contest, no one will be permitted to leave the room until all the ballots have been collected. Chief Judge Kushal Javale. Are all the contestants and officials in the room, and have they been briefed?
Yes.
Are there any questions at this time? Thank you. There will be 1 minute of silence after each contestant and 2 minutes after the final contestant to allow time for the judges to finalize their ballots. Mr. Timekeeper, Anand Kumar and Vikram Pai, will you signal when 1 minute and at the end when 2 minutes have elapsed?
Yes.
Thank you. Sergeant-at-Arms Neerav Shah, please prepare each successive contestant during the 1 minute of silence. Thank you. The speaking area for the contest will be from this whiteboard, the entire area up to the edge of the end of this whiteboard. The order of the contestants was determined earlier by having the contestants to draw for position. The order for the contest will be contestant number 1, Jhansi Kumar, contestant number 2, Damodaran S, contestant number 3, Nivedita Parulekar, contestant number 4, Rajveer Mehta, contestant number 5, Manish Kamdar, contestant number 6, Hasnain Changi, contestant number 7, Leslie Matthias, contestant number 8, Virendra Shahane. Each contestant will be introduced only by their name, speech of their title of their speech, and then I will repeat the title of their speech and their name once again. Each contestant will speak for between 5 to 7 minutes. We will now begin the humorous speech contest. Put your hands together for contestant number 1, Jhansi Kumar, the dangerous side of the 20s. The dangerous side of the 20s, Jhansi Kumar.
That's precisely what I have before I can no longer sit on the fence. Because come November, and I will officially be on the other side of the 20s, the dangerous side. Fellow contestants and guests, it isn't easy, you see. Of course you see, not that you are getting any younger, But this is different. When you have one set of your friends who are there in labor pay, and the other set of them busy planning their honeymoons, probably to join the first set soon, and the last set of friends probably sharing links on Facebook about 10 things to do rather than getting married in your 20s, it leaves you really confused. Is it too early to get married? I haven't even done half the things that I had to before I turned 30. I don't have a problem with people planning their honeymoons. That's great. But what I do have a problem is with our perpetual harbingers of news that will always get you into trouble. Always. Our very own, socially unwelcome auntie juice. And you know what's scarier? When you got into your building and the kids in your building ask you to throw back a ball probably, which may have strayed around you, and then now began ending the sentences with an auntie. I mean, the first time that happened to me, I was in shock. I said, me, auntie. But now it's still okay. I mean, one look at them, one grueling look, and they quickly changed from auntie to Didi. I'm still fine with that. It's working as of now at least. But coming back to our aunties, I'm sure each one of us in our family has these set of relatives, some 60, 65-year-olds, who accomplish the task of getting their own sons and daughters married off. And now, it's you on their agenda. You. So here we are, totally in confusion. They keep coming up with proposals. Now all the time, you can hear them saying in their head, I am going to make your life so miserable by sending across each and every proposal. And for each of them you refuse, I will ensure I make you feel so old, that you feel the wrinkles. Well, anyone asks your age, and you begin with anything which says a 20, you don't even have to tell them what's the other digit, because you can gauge it from their expressions. From the, oh, it's time to start looking. From the, you started looking, right? To, you aren't married yet? To the, time is running out. These expressions continue to amuse me and my friends. We can laugh over them. But what I feel bad is about our poor little moms. They have to go through all the ranting and all the chanting that these self-imposed, self-designated marriage bureau aunties have voluntarily picked up. I just have one question to ask these aunties. Actually, three. Have I asked you to look for me? Do you all even know what I'm looking for? Compatibility. Yeah, that's a word. Anyway, attending marriages is now no longer about dressing well or looking good or the food. It is also about mentally preparing yourself of why it's okay to not be wanting to stand in the stage next, especially when you get those. So, your next star kind of looks from all the latis and the nannies. Not that I go to a funeral and say the same. Anyway, so now you are here standing in the crossroads, wherein the entire world except you is in a hurry to get you married off, as if they'll be sponsoring my wedding. Any takers in the room, please? And to make things worse, at the same wedding, same gathering, and assume you don't have a friend accompanying you, you're stuck. Which group do you join? You join here, whether you have ladies and toddlers clinging onto them, puking by the minute, or you will join these young college students. Did I just say young? Okay. Who talk about books and studies and academics, like we don't know what they talk about. And here, you feel like a total misfit. Total misfit. Where you're so young that you can't plan an international holiday all by yourself. But you're old enough to plan a family. Contradictions, I tell you, complete contradictions. Raising parents in this time and age, very difficult. Very difficult. And then you finally think of sitting back, relaxing, and looking at what have been your achievements in your early 20s. You know, the school, awesome, crazy kind of things that you do. And bang, before you can even count 3, you're done. I got myself a job. And I'm here. Crazy, isn't it? Definitely not awesome. You also hear yourself beginning sentences with, in our times. Seriously? In our times? This is our time. And to make things worse, you look around and you see people achieving so much. So many records being broken, so many achievements and people climbing on their laurels. And you know what? They're all younger to you. But I guess this is also the age that wisdom kind of sets in. You forcefully try to get it in. And you tell yourself that life is much more than outbeating each other and all, right? It's after all about celebrating each other's successes, right? Yeah, right. Well, I had my to-do list ready at the beginning of this decade, just after I completed graduation. Now that's another thing that it kept self-moderating itself until today. So here I am with a new list of to-dos, which includes things like backpacking, going on exotic trips to exotic locations, and learning to ride a bullet. And luckily, it's still titled Things to Do Before I Turn 30. Well, now that I precisely have 4 years, 2 months, and 8 days to accomplish the same, let's see what I have in store. And yes, aunties of the world, it does include marriage. Over to you, contestants.
We will now observe 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Please put your hands together for contestant number 2, Damodaran S. Life of a South Indian engineer. Life of a South Indian engineer, Damodaran S.
Good evening, everyone. I'll start off with a small story. So, there was one particular day, I was getting back from work, I enter my apartment, and I find my roommate doing this. All these things. And it's really funny, right? Because the guy is fat. He's so fat that he actually had to lose weight to do a fat guy's role. He's that fat and he was doing that. I was like, okay, I go up to him and I asked him, what's up, man? Something company or something? He's like, no, I'm going to sing this song called Bane De from Ravan. Okay. I was surprised for 2 reasons. One, because the artist called singing, God save the song. And number 2, because he was singing a Hindi song. We are South Indians, right? We don't know any Hindi. And this guy, he's the worst because he almost got slapped because he called a lady Bhaiya. That was like a couple of days back. And he was singing a Hindi song. So I asked him, what makes you think you can sing a Hindi song? And he tells me, this is how you learn Hindi, man. You sing Hindi songs, you watch Hindi movies, you talk to North Indian girls. We saw that, right? And that's how you learn Hindi. I'm like, okay, so did you actually find out the meaning of this song? It's like, yeah, man, I've been doing this since morning. There's so much inner meaning, you have no idea. I was like, okay, so what did you find out? He was like, see, basically there are 2 words. Bane, de. Oh, mujhe also. Ban in Hindi means sister. And de means give. So, the hero's actually asking something from a sister. Bane de means sister, give me something, sister, give me something. And I was like, okay. I mean, I got so senti that I actually called my sister and spoke to her for 3 hours today. My God. And then I actually watched the movie that Abhishek Bachchan was Aishwarya Rai's brother in that movie. I watched the entire movie and when she actually fallen down from the mountain, he's telling sister, give me. I was like, okay, I thought they're actually in love in the movie. Okay. I mean, not just that, right? We face so many other problems. Names, for example. What they do is they take one name and then they add your dad's name and then their grandfather's name and probably his father's name. They form a huge sentence and then tell it, this is your name. So whenever I start writing my name, people think I'm writing an essay. And my mail ID will be like damodaran.sukumaran.balakrishnan _cooldude at gmail.com. And when people start sending me mails, people will be like, when friends typing that, they'll actually forget what they want to write in the mail. I never get anything here these days. And the worst part is my manager is a Russian. So we have these video conferences every day. So he'll take the paper and he'll read Peter, John, and then then I'll figure out, actually he's trying to read my name, but I won't tell him. This guy already gives me a lot of work every day. And how can I get back at him? I won't even tell him that actually he's trying to read my name. Like, read it by. That's it. And when he gives me, and he has a memory issue, he does that every day. So when he gives me more work, I make him read 2-3 times. And I tell him my character also, but then he never remembers it. And then, as if all these problems are not enough, once I tell my neighbor that I'm a computer science engineer, so after a couple of days, he comes running into my apartment. He's all panicked. He's like breathing very heavily, and he was very scared now. And he's telling me that, hey dude, actually there's a small problem with my monitor, very small problem with my monitor. Can you please come and fix it? I was like, yeah, of course I can fix it, man. There's a monitor, right? There'll be some connection issue. I'll just come and fix it. What's the problem? So I go to his apartment. And he shows me the monitor. It's a TV monitor. I'm like standing there and watching it. And the small problem which I was saying, the very small problem was that it was broken. The screen had a huge crack and there was a hole in that. And he's telling me, you have to fix the small problem. How am I going to fix that? And then his wife is sitting next to the TV. She's doing that. And then I figured out that she has actually thrown something at him. It hit the TV mistake. He was running outside. He was panting. And he just came and asked me, can I come and fix it? And then she started giving me this look as if she's going to hit me next if I don't leave the apartment in 2 minutes. I was like, okay, fine, I'll leave. So, this is the life of South Indian engineer in Bombay. Thank you.
We will now observe 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Please put your hands together for contestant number 3, Nivedita Parlekar. My boredom, Nivedita Parlekar.
Our 6th president, Mr. Sanjeev Reddy, once told in his speech, I feel dull and tiresome. Once my presidential tenure will get over, I'll take sannyas from politics. Respected judges, chair contest, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. As a politician, I totally agree with President Reddy. Great mind think alike. Nowadays, I'm tired eating American almonds, Italian apricots, peaches from Kashmir. Alfonso mangoes are not extremely sweet nowadays. I'm fed up traveling in my Mercedes Benz and going to Ashoka, Marriott and Taj was not at all exciting. started affecting my physical health. I shared my problem with my industrialist friends, Vidani brothers from Vidani Group of Industries and Dr. Kirti Patel from Patel Chemicals and Physicals and few others. All of them advised me to take a rest. Rest, I am feeling restless. I devoted my entire life for my country. I always voted for my people's call. I never thought of thinking for myself at all. But still, I restricted myself to only 3 inaugurations, 2 speeches and just 1 party a day. But still my problem was getting worse than ever. So I consulted a group of doctors. The heart specialist found trouble in my heart. ENT specialist diagnosed problem in my right nostril, left ear and throat. Diabetologist confirmed high sugar production. Sorry. When it is sugar, it's always associated with production. Sorry. Diabetologist diagnosed high blood sugar level. And finally, dentist confirmed that your wisdom tooth needs to be removed on track. My family advised me to go to US and see doctors. But when so much Indian population is below poverty line, how I can go to US for my treatment? But everybody convinced me, you are a great politician. Our country needs politicians like you. I had no option but to visit US. My friend Pankaj Vidani, he made special flight arrangement for me and my family who's traveling with me to US. That is my brother, my brother-in-law, my nephew. We reached Las Vegas. Dr. Bill Richards in Las Vegas advised me to consult Dr. Dick Goldfarb from Chicago, and for that he charged $10,000. I convinced US is a capitalist country. Our stay arrangement there is done all by Dr. Kirti Patel, but I was not at all happy with the services provided by hotels like Waldorf Astoria in New York and Carlton Shelton at Washington. They are really bad. Okay, but during my stay in US, believe me, I shared my thoughts on Indo-US bilateral economic relationship, turning point of Indo-US ties, so on and so forth. These meetings were very boring for US citizens, including Indians, but that was the false claim made by US media. Okay? Finally, Dr. Dick diagnosed my mental health syndrome boredom due to monotony. Right? I thought it's just next in the series, next to our all communicable diseases such as flu, malaria, chickenpox. I don't know what to do. I devoted my entire life to the people in my country, and with their earnest pressing, I have taken several key positions such as diplomat, governor, health minister, home minister. Now doctors are advising me to reduce the air travel. When my job is for development of the people, I have to travel to US and UK. I don't have any option because I always give call to my vote for my people's call. I never thought of thinking of myself at all. But still, nowadays I stopped giving speeches. As such, media is not giving due coverage. It is so unimaginable. Rather than giving due coverage to my speeches, they are more attention towards riots, shootouts, lathi charge. What is new in these news? India is a country of gods and saints. We have a rich culture. We have one of the world's richest culture. We have given so many good politicians, great authors, great scientists. So such a great heritage, poverty is just a state of mind, and hate honors, felicitations, flowers, bouquets and garlands. But I just can't say no to my people's request. I fed up staying in palatial bungalows when my people are staying in hutments. Except my last birthday when I gave a grand buffet of Mughlai, Thai, Italian and these continental dishes. I don't indulge in spicy and continental food at all. But these are compulsory things. As I devoted my life for the poor, I had to do this. The list is endless. Okay. Now I have decided on my next birthday, I'll just travel. I'll restrict myself and travel only to US to my son, UK to my nephew, and my son-in-law who is in Moscow, and except few other places in India, I will not travel anywhere, and then I will also visit from my holidays. Jai Hind. Just a small announcement. As a speech writer, if you find any resemblance, please don't consider this as a coincidence. The incidences may or may not be true, but the character is real. Okay? Sarcasm and exaggeration are two important elements of humor. But looking at the vast differences between promises showered by these politicians and reality, I think my sarcasm is too small. Okay? But just an attempt to create awareness and avoid sarcasm of our own lives. I think politics is too serious to be left with politicians. Over to you.
We will now observe 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Please put your hands together for contestant number 4, Rajveer Mehta. The typhoon, Rajveer Mehta. Good evening, contestant, chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I would like to welcome you all in this fun-filled evening, and I would like to thank you all for coming out tonight, which is quite easy for me to say because I am not paying for the food. I remember my first P1 speech, and I was trying very hard to impress the audience, to boast about myself, my accomplishments and everything. And trying very hard not to run away from this food. I still today, after 4 speeches, 20 role-playing speeches, and after 70 days later, I still make sure not to wear my running shoes because I have no idea when this typhoon will strike again. Before we start, firstly I would like to lay down a few rules. Firstly, no heckling please. And secondly, if you have phones, please keep them on. You need entertainment.
sure all of you will be happy. Human beings have a lot of emotions. We can express our love, anger, hatred, cynical thoughts as easily as people nowadays pouring water buckets on the head for a major cause. For such people, I would like to say that do me a favor. Go to a municipal tap where people are waiting for 4 hours to get water. Tell them about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge and tell them to do that. And return home with the slash marks on your face. Human beings, sometimes it's difficult for human beings to express the feelings, especially someone like me. If you tell me to speak, if you keep me in between 100 people and tell me to speak about something, and I am going to just give a phenomenal speech or maybe phenomenal silence. But this story is just also 2012. Before Toastmaster happened, before everything happened, before I didn't even have the guts to go and speak to people, a conversation with a new person that I meet would be as follows. The new person would say, "Hi, I'm blah blah, and you are?" And I would be like, "Okay, hi. Okay, hi." And the opposite person would just run away, never to be seen ever again. But now I'm much more smarter, and I sometimes even surprise myself by the things I speak, by the things that I'm able to speak. You remember there are those situations in life where you are at a dinner party and you say a joke and everyone is laughing along with you, and after some time some other person says the same story at a different dinner party and you feel like they are laughing at you. Yeah, those kinds of people. Those kinds of people who just take away your joke, who just take away your thunder, and who become those international speech contestants in just a minute, and they win the approval of all the people around them. It is so weird. Like without any intense practice, without managing their time, without any hours around, or without any compulsory use of grammar, they become Toastmaster winners. And what can I say about myself? To such people, when this happens to me, I just go home, sit in a corner and laugh at myself. Because apparently, self-deprecating humor is the best humor. So some of you have been hearing my speeches from the past 8 months. You all know that I have always stayed in my comfort zone. I have used 3 main components: mockery, self-deprecating humor, and lots of showing off my knowledge. So right now I'm going to promise myself that I will stop being my own psychopath. Just like a typhoon, which starts in a calm sea, I have to start developing myself, getting out of my comfort zone, and get to know things better and learn new things. Do you all remember that small toy that we had when we were young? It's called the Jack in the Box. Well, of course you remember. My audience today here are a bunch of parents who are at that stage of life where they are still in confusion whether the kid that they have is their kids or not, their own kid or not. Well, I can see a lot of nods, so I know that I'm telling the truth. But if it makes you feel any better, my parents are in that stage themselves. So yeah, that toy, I'll just continue with my toy story. That toy that I have, I feel that I'm like that toy. I think I am a human equivalent of Big Mac and fries. I think I'm hilarious, but sometimes I have restricted myself to a small space. I have not opened up a lot. So right now, I'm going to open up. I'm going to try from today. I'm going to try breaking my own barriers. I think I have a very huge potential in my mind, and sometimes I can take a lot of time to get my potential across people. For example, there are situations in this own club, like when there are speech spots open or there are role spots open for the next meeting, and everyone becomes an enthusiastic duck, shouting out their names and trying to fill up the spaces. And I'm just like sitting in one corner, having our own fear factor episode with myself. I'm deciding to do or to do not. And if I do, what do I do? And if I do not, what do I do not do? If I do, how do I say that I'm doing it? And if I do not, how do I say I'm not doing it? And if I do, how do I do it? And if I do not, how do I do not do that? So if you see some person swirling across the road, swirling on the road in just the near future, just believe that this typhoon has struck and there is no stopping back. Thank you.
1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots, please. Please put your hands together for contestant number 5, Manish Kaumdar. Size does matter. Size does matter. Manish Kaumdar.
Lose weight, ask me how. These were the words on the badges of a lot of people I saw in Bangalore on my way to the office. As soon as they saw me, they started coming towards me. And I was wondering, I'm not a damsel in distress looking for my knight in shining armor. Then why are they approaching me? I was later on informed that they were visitors to an office nearby which sold products to help people lose weight, supposedly. And I was a sitting duck for them to achieve their targets. Don't blame them, they were only doing their job. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Please understand my predicament in this situation. Jadiya, Jadi Buddhi, Motu, धरती का बोझ अनाज का दुश्मन, किस चक्की का आटा खाता है. These are phrases that I have been used to listening to right from childhood. I realized I was challenged at the girth when I was in the 5th standard. During the summer holidays, I was bitten by a stray dog and had to take 14 injections around my navel. I used that as a crutch to explain my bloated stomach. In hindsight, I realized what a lame excuse it was. But I also learned that I had a knack of spinning yarns right from that day. While on one hand I was spinning yarns, on the other hand I was desperately trying to lose weight. But like the dog in that famous TV commercial, it followed me every day. Finally, I decided to accept it as a congenital defect and learn to live with it. Having lost my mind, but not my weight, let me share with you not just my yearnings for food, but also my learnings. Let me start off with something that is closest to heart. Food. I love food. You will have people who eat to their heart's content and not put on a milligram of weight. And then you will have some unfortunate souls like me who put on weight by the kilo every single day just by breathing. God, why is the world so cruel to me? I love all-you-can-eat buffets, and sites like Groupon are my favorite horn so that I can grab those deals. I've always relished a meal for two, all by myself. But on the other hand, let me also admit, I'm no saint. I'm a hypocrite. My sister is a qualified nutritionist and a weight loss expert in the US. And I do her social media strategy in India. I even write blog posts for her. And one of the posts that I had written was on what one should do at an all-you-can-eat buffet. It came to me naturally. I just had to write the opposite of what I was actually doing, pigging out. Then we come to clothes. Trousers for me have to be custom made because this body is custom built. Shirts are getting more and more difficult to find now, as I have graduated from size 40 to 46, slowly but visibly. Lastly, we come to physical activity. I started swimming at the age of 44, and everyone would ask me, is there water left in the pool after you have jumped in? But I persisted and I learned swimming. Before I could get anywhere near Michael Phelps, my ear infection got the better of me and I had to stop swimming. I have been practicing BKS Iyengar yoga for the last 5 years. Despite such a long duration, when it comes to forward bends, all I can do is hold my shin bone, whereas others in class rest their palms on the floor. My instructor blames it on my tummy, which she refers to as an overinflated truck tire. In class, I am made to repeat all my poses just so that all the students know how not to do you. And for Shirsasana, I need the help of two people to physically support me from the thighs up. Why? Because they wouldn't allow a crane inside the room. So friends, the next time you receive an SMS on weight loss, remember, it was actually intended for me, but somehow made it to you. If you see a blog post by a dietitian, probably could be ghostwritten by me. Never ask a woman's age and a man's wage, goes the adage. In my case, never ask me the tonnage. It embarrasses both the weighing scale and me, and so we parted ways a long time ago. Over to you, Pandit.
1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots, please. Please put your hands together for contestant number 6, Hasnain Changi. The perfect home, Hasnain Changi.
of the railway station, platform number 1. We allowed 2 trains to go by before we could understand the process. I pushed my only wife into the second compartment of the 3rd train that wanted, and it started to move. I ran behind it, reached out with a hand, jumped in, got a toehold, and was swaying between life and death. I knew I was going to die because my entire life flashed before my eyes. Toastmasters and guests. It all began in the first race with the sun, which tiptoed coyly into my living room, the one with the high sloping roof and the old world charm. It peeped in to say hey to my daughter who had crashed out after a night of serious binge Facebooking. It greeted my wife who was busy WhatsApping, and it exchanged high fives with the birds that were tweeting in the plants that we have nurtured especially for them. I love my plants. I also love the location of my home. I can reach my office if I take my scooter in 3 minutes flat. But if I'm in a hurry, I just bypass the whole kickstart process and reach there walking in 2 minutes. I come home almost every day for lunch. Sometimes I come home for tea. And I will admit that there have been occasions when I've come home just to catch a smile. But today, there was a big frown on my wife's forehead. I sensed a sudden drop in the temperature. A shiver ran down my spine. Chalo, let's buy a new house. Like she was saying, let's go and buy a new washing machine. I am sick and tired of these awful stairs. Our nosy neighbors and their noisy kids will not let me sleep in the afternoon. Do you know what a royal pain it is to clean this high roof? I have endured this silently for 29 years and I'm not going to endure this any longer, okay? You know that with our budget we can afford a home only in the very distant suburbs. You know, like the suburbs of the suburbs. All our friends and relatives live close by. I have my Toastmasters. How will I commute to Toastmasters and to work? I know exactly how much work you do. Half the time you don't even know whether you're going to your office or coming back. So the less said about your business and your Toastmasters, the better it is. All our friends will be delighted to come over and visit us even more often because nobody will have to climb these awful stairs. Friends, I live on the 3rd floor, the 36 steps. I wish to buy a house on the 36th floor. It's always been my dream to sit in my balcony of my own flat on the 36th floor and sip coffee. Wow. Coffee. My cousin Shamdan lives on the 10th floor of a house which overlooks the sea. I've stood in a balcony once and I've got the most god-awful attack of vertigo. The sea seemed to be crying out, come on into my embrace. And I seriously needed to sip something much, much stronger than coffee. 36th floor and coffee. I know that you will never buy a house because you are too lazy, too stubborn, and too scared to travel by suburban trains. Everybody can travel by suburban trains, but not you. One thing I had asked for in my life, and the floodgates opened. So I surrendered. I whipped out my smartphone, but then decided to keep it simple. So went to my landline and called Mrs. Arvind and Sunil, estate agents of repute since 1958. They very politely listened to my requirements. They listened to my budget, and then they laughed. All in the Queen's English. But then, they were professionals who soon regained their composure. We do have something that perfectly matches Sir's requirements. And his budget is such as it is, except that it's a little further away than what Sir had specified. However, no worries, a car will be over tomorrow to fetch Madam and Sir and escort them to the site. The car duly arrived, and after a 2-hour drive in that fast SUV, we reached the middle of nowhere and found ourselves ensconced in a flat like a matchbox, so tiny that I bumped into something every time I turned. outside, there was a huge swimming pool, a gymnasium with a sauna and jacuzzi, and oceans of parking space. I mean, acres and acres of space, but nothing inside the house. There were neither nosy neighbors nor noisy kids. In fact, there was no one at all. You could talk to the birds, the bees, and the trees to your heart's content. It was the perfect modular home with all modern amenities. I hated it. After spending some time there, we were politely escorted back to the railway station. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was how I came about to be swaying between life and death. A kindly force pulled me in. All passengers then merged into one amorphous mass, like a jelly, like the kind of custard that is served in Iranian restaurants, which people order not to eat but to see wriggle. I have also been practicing yoga for many years, so I am an expert. So I assume the posture, very well known posture of the corkscrew asana. You know, it goes something like that. My wife of 29 years, who is also my best friend, assumed the fetal position. And from that position, she conveyed her expressions of love for me. You brainless idiot. What did you think you were trying to do, running behind a train like that and catching it? I'm not going to take a house that is so far away from your work. I think I can live with my high sloping roof and those blessed stairs. But how will I live without you? You brainless idiot. I love you too. Slowed down, but before it could halt, we were disgorged from its interiors like the outpourings of an anguished soul. I collected my wife, myself, and what little remained of my dignity and hailed a cab back to my perfect home. The taxi driver was strictly instructed to put all noise-making devices on silent mode. This would be a ride best spent in meditation. Back to you.
1 minute silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Please put your hands together for contestant number 7, Leslie Matthias. The world through a different lens. The world through a different lens. Leslie Matthias.
Baby, my sweetheart, my darling, my coochie moochie. I am not referring to you, Lily. That's the way my mom wakes me up each morning. Today is my first birthday, and my life so far has been full of adventure. Crying, something that I'm very good at. Verbs, and some unmentionables. Dear Auntie contestant, and my fellow Mama and Papa Toastmasters, It all began with my dramatic entry into this world. I could hear a beautiful voice saying, push, push. I was really confused. Is this for my mom or is this for me? I decided, better push than never. So I tried to push, and then I heard the doctor saying, we have to go in for a cesarean. This baby is not moving in the right direction. Moving in the right direction? Excuse me, there aren't any signboards there telling you where to go. So then finally, I realized that cesarean meant that I was now being smuggled into this world when I could have easily walked in through the green channel. Anyways, the cut was made and I was pulled out. And then I saw this beautiful young doctor who had brought me into this world. This beauty who made my heart flutter. I was itching to go to her clinic so that I could see her. It was as if Cupid's arrow had struck me straight in the heart. For her, the definition of a Cupid arrow was this injection. And my heart was here. Sometimes she was the merciful, with just one prick on one side. Otherwise, she was like a soldier on a shooting spree. When I turned naughty, two on both the sides. I used to go to her clinic with love in my eyes and return with move in my hands. Now the move reminds me of another lady, this fat, this overweight massage lady who comes to my house every day. She tries to massage my bones, checking if all of them are in place. She pours hot oil over my body, expecting it to be absorbed. Absorbed? Where? Do I look like a sponge to you? She prepares these paste of herbs and spices and applies on my body. And I feel like a fish in a frying pan waiting to be eaten. The intensity of her massage depends on how good or a bad day that she's having. On a good day, I get away with some light pushes here and there. But on a bad day, I can hear all my joints. And then when I start crying, she will ask, why are you crying, baby? Are you feeling hungry? Stupid lady. Now, coming to my mom, who thinks of me as the apple of her eye. My mom feels that I'm the most malnourished baby in this world and tries to feed me every day. Cerelac, banana one day. Cerelac, apple the other day. Cerelac, multigrain. Cerelac, wheat. Cerelac, whatever. They all taste the same. Wouldn't you guys like something different after you've tried an Indian menu every day? Wouldn't you want something continental? Now, coming to my dad. My dad feels that he knows me intimately like all other dads do. When I am feeling hot, he bundles me up. When I am feeling tired and woozy, he takes me for a walk. And when I feel like being wide awake, he puts me to sleep. Worse still, he believes that I'm the most crankiest baby because no matter what he does, I will end up crying. Now recently, my mom told him to change my soiled diaper. He walked up to me. He opened my diaper and trust. That's when he got a phone call. So he walked away. Here I was with all my freedom, with that soiled diaper, splishing and splashing into all the, yeah, you guessed it, unleashing my creativity. My leg was in poo, and my dad was in deeper poo, because he had to get the sounding of his life from my mom. Anyways, today is my birthday, and there are a lot of people who have come to celebrate my birthday. And I can see them and they're going to walk up to me and say, how cute a baby is, how sweet a baby is. I hate these people. That auntie who's going to walk up to me and hold my cheeks, I am going to apply chocolate cake on her side. And that uncle who's going to come and talk to me in kiddie language. Le, kahi jaye mera bachcha. I have one nice, smelly something. My mom has forgotten to put my diaper, you see. And for that fat lady who's going to come and squeeze me tight, I have my most secret weapon. Now, when you know my story, I'm sure that you will think twice before being nice to a baby. Over to you.
1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots, please. Please put your hands together for the last contestant of the day, contestant 8, Virendra Shahane. $1 million question. $1 million question, Virendra Shahane.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, excuse me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, excuse me. Good evening. Excuse me. Let me once and for all take care of this and I'll come back. I'm sorry, I know scratching like this in public is bad manners. But I must do it, I can't. Because for quite some time, I've been itching to do something. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this evening. I'm going to ask you a question. But before I get there, there are here. Rules of the game. There is a check of $1 million here. $1 million, my wife's hard-earned money. And I'm betting it all that I'm going to ask a question. In fact, I'm going to ask a lot of questions, but one of them is a $1 million question. And he or she who answers it will take it all away. Please. All of the others who don't will go home scratching. This itch, friends, is contagious. The very reason this itch is here is because I have been not asking enough questions. Because last time, or last many times, I asked questions, something bad happened. Once I remember I was 9. My father received a letter. It said, your son is being thrown out of school because he asked unnecessary questions. What did you ask? My father demanded. Nothing bad. I just asked the teacher, how sure are you what you're teaching is true? That day I discovered the size of my father's hand. Many years later, my wife received a similar letter. Mr. Shane is being fired from his job because he asks unnecessary questions. What did you ask, honey? I said, nothing. I just went to the boss and asked him who made you the boss. She gave me a cold stare. And that night I discovered hunger. This is a weird word. Somebody asked a very faltu question like kitne aadmi the, and he became a legend. My friends became a hungry, jobless husband. This is really a weird word. On deeper thought, I think in this world you can ask only certain kind of questions. Whenever I return home late from office, my wife asks, where are you? I want to object, but I never can. It's a perfectly valid question. My dad, when I was a teen, he spotted me on the market with my girlfriend. He asked me, "Kab se chal rahi hai hamari? How long has it been going on?" I looked at my mom for it, but she silently signaled, "Perfectly valid. Please reply." My dad and the people around me kept asking me questions after questions after questions. When will you pass? Why did you fail? What will you become? When will you marry? Why do you have children? The questions never stopped. I wanted to object, stop those questions, but I never could. They all seem to belong to the valid questions list. Only my questions never belonged to the list. I didn't know what was the difference between my question and their questions. But somehow, my questions don't resonate well with the world. Like Mr. Gabbar Singh's questions too. Holy Gabbar! Gabbar! Come on, Mr. Singh, please check the calendar. I am telling you, friends, somebody has done something to this world. Some voodoo stuff. There was a time when you used to ask, why does apple fall on the ground, and you invented gravity. There was a time you asked, why does the kettle lid jump when the water is boiling, and you invented steam engine. I know of a man, a very simple man, who once asked, he asked a question and he changed history. He asked, why can't I travel in the first class compartment with fair-skinned people? Friends, those people became Newton, Watt, and I want to tell you, you become what you become by the quality of questions you ask. But, as I was saying, this is a weird world. These are weird times. Now people tell you what to ask. David Ogilvy, father of modern advertising, he once said, don't ask why, ask why not. I asked why. I asked why. Why should I ask why not when I want to ask why? The famous John F. Kennedy, he said, don't ask what your country does for you, ask what you can do for your country. Come on, for God's sake, if I want to know what my government, my country does for me, why should I ask something else? I suspect that was a clever politician's way of avoiding accountability. Can I do this to my wife? Every time she asks me, where were you? Can I tell her, honey, don't ask where are you. Please ask what you can do for your country. I can't, and I'm sure none of you can. But there, somehow, some people have definitely managed to alter the very questions this world asks. And that, I'm sorry. That, friends, million question. I am contest chair and fellow Toastmasters want to ask for $1 billion. When was the last time you asked a question which made a difference? The silence says it all. It gives me relief though. But what do I do with this? I better go to the person and give it to her. At least she asks one definite question which has tendency to lead to some inventions. I'll give it to my wife. Every time we are going out for dinner, she asks, honey, how am I looking? I look a lie.
We will now observe 2 minutes of silence for the judges to finalize their ballots. Request the tally counters to collect the ballots. Have all the ballots been collected? I now request the Chief Judge and the tally counters to please leave the room. We shall now have a short 15 minutes tea break.
You all must be wondering why the judges, valuation judges, ballot or the leaders in front of you. It is for your practice. If you want to practice it,
International
begin, please put all noise-making devices on silent mode. No flash photography is permitted during the contest. Photographs may be taken after the contest. Once the contest has begun, the sergeant at arms will secure the doors. Members of the audience are asked to refrain from leaving or entering the room during the contest. If you must leave the room, do so only during the minute of silence between contestants. After the contest, no one will be permitted to leave the room until all ballots have been collected. Mr. Chief Judge Bhushan Javle, are all the contestants and officials in the room and have they been briefed?
Yes.
Are there any questions at this time? Thank you. There will be 1 minute of silence after each contestant and 2 minutes after the final contestant to allow time for the judges to mark their ballots. Mr. Timekeeper, Anand Kumar and Vikram Rai, will you signal when 1 minute and at the end when 2 minutes have elapsed? Anand will. Timekeeper Anand will show the timing card and Anand will point me. Vikram will show the timing cards for the contestant. Sergeant at Arms leader, please prepare each successive contestant during 1 minute of silence. The speaking area will be, as previously explained, from this side of the whiteboard till this end of the whiteboard. The order of the contest was determined earlier by having the contestant draw for position. The order of the contest will be 1. Nivedita Parwekar. 2. Rahul Gulekar. 3. Hasnain Changi. 4. Punit Patel. Each contestant will be introduced only by their number and name, and then I will repeat their number and name. Each contestant will speak for between 2 to 3 minutes. Let me call the test speaker, Nilesh Mishra. Define love, Nilesh Mishra.
The hours I spent with you and look like a sort of perfume garden. A dim twilight and fountains singing to it. You and you alone make me feel that I am alive. Others may have seen angels, but I have seen thee, though aren't enough. I love you for everything you say and you do. I love you for the happiness I feel when you are beside me. I love you because when you are near, the whole world is meaningful. What? Seriously? Are you going to do this? Yeah. What's the matter? Finally, she understood my love and asked me to propose her. Propose her? You know, this is a complete fake, right? Maybe. But that doesn't matter. Every girl wants this to be happen in her life. I'm doing the same. Wait. This is each and every, you don't mean any single word of it, do you? No, maybe, but that doesn't matter. On this chair, fellow Toastmasters and those who has been a part of this situation or wants to be, don't you think this is craziness? I mean, I was not a part of this situation at all, so I think the same. My best friend was preparing a speech to propose a girl who has been his girlfriend since 3 years. and they are doing it now. And hey, not in Mumbai, because she wanted this to happen in Goa. Why? Because I managed somehow to spend some time with my friends. She came to ruin it. My friend is actually very emotional and double alcoholic. Why double alcoholic? Because a normal person drinks once in a day, at night. But my friend, when he drinks, he does it twice. One, to get into the habit, and second, to get out of the habit. When he gets drunk and comes home, he used to ask, why did you do that? He always said, oh, mere bhai, brother, she hugged me, and I went to heaven. I wanted to be there, that's why. Next day, oh, brother, she kissed me. I went to heaven. I wanted to be there, that's why. And the very next day, actually he did not come. We went to pick him up out of the bar, and I was completely angry. Why now? He told me, oh brother, she was having dinner with someone else. What were you doing there? I was planning to go to heaven. And the most difficult thing I have ever faced is, I know that my friend is a dumb and idiot person I have ever met. But I have to portray him, a very impressive guy, in front of a girl. Finally, that evening has come. We reached at the venue. Everything was as per plan. But hey, that girl was actually behaving or reacting like she doesn't know anything. Why could she do that? Finally, Mr. Idiot came well dressed and started his prepared speech. I knew what was going to happen, so I was not making any interest of that. But when it started, everyone, including me, was terrified. Each and every part of that situation was real. The expressions, the feelings were real. He started. I don't want to become your king. I don't want you to become my queen. I don't want to love because I want to spend my whole life with you. I don't love you to stay with you for my complete life. I don't want to be the happiest person because I love you. I just love you because I love you. Could you please accept me to stay until the best place of your heart? That moment was not acceptable to me as per my theories. But I realized that actually love is not only what you see and also not what you only feel. Love, actually I don't have any definition of love. Love is just a love. This is just what it is.
The time taken by the test speaker is 5 minutes and 38 seconds. And now we will observe 5 minutes of silence. 1 minute remaining. Time is over. Contestant number 1 will remain in the room and starter now. I request you please escort remaining contestant to the second room.
Their mobile phones. Give the mobile phones and put it on silent mode. All your sheets should have the name and give it silent at times. How will they come up?
We will now begin the evaluation contest. Contestant number 1, Nivedita Parvekar. Contestant number 1, Nivedita Parvekar.
Very good evening. What did you now? Speaker made a very different movie, which was really a one surprising element. The story was a perfect balance between a true love but at the same time a true friendship. It's a really the speaker balanced well between the love as well as his friendship. The story also narrates the friend's good understanding about his friends at the same time about love. As far as his acting is concerned, he acted well because the way he was expressing those delicate movements was very well. Because he acted with me, so I could evaluate. I could see him with him. So he was really very confident, and despite looking continuously at him, he was not even shaking. So that was very good part of it. What suggestions I can give? He was really very good expressive and tried to differentiate at the beginning. When he was expressing for his friendship as well as for his, when it comes to love, some differentiation would have made it better. Because the story, rather than defining love, I feel it was not only love but a friendship as well as love. So those, we can keep it slightly differential, those two different shades. The speech would have worked much better. But But all in all, it's not only a true love story, but a story of a love story as well as a true friendship story. Thank you.
We will observe 1 minute of silence for judges to come up. Contestant number 2, Rahul Gulegar. Contestant number 2, Rahul Gulegar.
I can very well get connected to this particular story. When I heard the speech, it was like such an emotional story that one particular person is trying to convey his girlfriend that how much he loves her. From last 3 years, he was trying to convey her that how much he loves her. When he started this particular story or speech, it was like he was always trying to tell her that how much I love you. But it was coming out as if he was trying to fake, or it was not coming from his heart. It was coming in this. So then he decided one day that let me take my girlfriend to go out, and then I make this proposal. It was like a Munna Bhai MBBS ka story in front of me, where Munna Bhai has taken his girlfriend to go out, wanted to propose it. But again, it was like there was no conclusion out of that. And then in the speech, it was again, he mentioned that he used to drink twice a day. So he was like a drunkard. So he used to drink in the morning as well as he used to drink in the evening. And that continues over a period of time. For the first time when he said that he drank and he went and speak to her, to his girlfriend, then she has given her a hug. A second time when he has done the same thing, again he has given her a kiss, and where he was very happy. But the next time again the same story has repeated. That time it was not a good sign. And he was very upset because he found her having a dinner with somebody else. So that was a very sad and emotional part in the story. And even I got emotional that what is happening. And then when he was trying and he knows that this is a time, if I don't convey my message to my girlfriend that how much I love you, then maybe I may fail in my delivery and I may never get whom I like the most. He started preparing. He was trying to prepare a prepared speech, so that he thought that whatever I'm trying to convey her, maybe she is not realizing it. So he tried to make a prepared speech out of it, in which his message can be really go to that particular person whom he loves the most. And then that story ended in such a way that he went there, he tried to convey through his speech that how much he loves her. But the story ended over there. The story was very emotional story, where it was like it left a message to the audience that what had happened in the end. I was waiting to hear that what happened in the end. But again, it was like it ended over there and it kept us guessing. So that is what I have got from this particular story. And over to you, Francis.
We will observe 1 minute of silence. Contestant number 3, Hasnain Changi. Contestant number 3, Hasnain Changi.
This chair, fellow Toastmasters, especially Toastmaster Dinesh. Love, the universal hit. Everybody wants love, and everybody wants to be loved. I don't know how many people want to give so much of love, but it is a universal emotion, and I doubt if there breathes any heart in which the noble emotion of love does not exist. The speaker opened with a poem which would have definitely found resonance in a lot of hearts, young and old alike. Every one of us, at some time or the other, must have loved with a passion that overrode every other emotion that we might have experienced. And from the nodding heads, I can understand that a lot of people are still remembering that. I loved the way that the speaker opened with the poem and stayed with it. He showed very good use of body language, the project 5 objectives, gestures, eye contact, movement, stance, facial expressions were all there. It was a very good attempt at talking about a subject that many writers, many philosophers have tried over the ages to define. One more can be added to that list. He made a noble attempt, but then he gave up half. He started off trying to define love, introduced many characters in it, and then gave up by saying love is just love. Love is what it is. I have a couple of recommendations, if I may give you. In your story, there were a couple of characters which may not have been there. Your entire story could have done without a couple of characters because you did not have enough time to flesh them out, to define them as well as you could have. However, you still ended up with a couple of minutes to spare. So you could have used that time to better define those characteristics. The voice of the speaker could have been a little bit louder and could have had some variations to create even a greater impact upon the audience. I felt that the structure of the speech could have been slightly better with a well-defined opening, a body and a conclusion. But overall, I was extremely impressed with the way the speaker took in his own hands the courage to talk about a topic which has defied definition of any form over the ages. He has made a bold attempt and he has, to my mind, succeeded to a great extent in letting at least the audience, all of us know that it is actually beyond definition. I look forward to seeing the growth of the speaker both as a communicator and with his voice development, his stance and his stage presence. I'm sure the will go a very long way. Congratulations for giving us a Thank you very much.
We observe 1 minute of silence. Contestant number 4, Puneet Patel.
Contest Chair, dear Toastmasters and fellow guests. I was very impressed because the speaker, Nilesh, had well begun, and well begun is how. Love is blind, what he displayed was his story. And I was impressed in the way he started out the poem. Lovely. What a great start. What I found exemplary was your trust in love and the style in which you depicted a story. The speaker had a story, a personal story to his friend depicting what is love and what are the efforts which he had taken to achieve. What I liked was the delivery. It had components like poem, a personal story, and to conclude, you left an open-ended question. Fantastic job. I also liked the hand movements which you made when you were speaking out. So they were in synchronization with what you spoke. Well done there as well. But love is blind, and there are obviously some points which can make love perfect. And I would like to suggest you those points. The first being, you had a lot of space here. Your focus was on this end of the audience, and it was restricted to this end, where you could have used the stage quite well. And you could have even made good eye contact while you were moving around. The second point is, the conclusion was, I felt, a bit abrupt, which could have been more beautiful if you would have left an open-ended question to the audience. Do you know what is love? I cannot define love. Think about it. I would have liked that, so that it would have been more impactful to the audience. And thirdly, I also would like to suggest to you that when you were proposing the lady, you were half bent, where you could have been done completely, and you could have conveyed your message clearly to her, and spoke with pause, because pauses are very powerful to impress a lady. And obviously, I would suggest that he should have a big smile on the face as proposing a lady. So overall, the speech included components of poem, delivery, personal story, but it could have been better with some more tweaks which I suggested of hand movements, gestures, and the way you deliver. Over to you, Congress.
We will observe 2 minutes of silence. some time, I will invite our evaluation speech contestant, Nivedita Parvekar, Puneet Patel, Usman Chaki, and Rahul. Please come on the stage. There are the certificates delivered to the contestant for the participation.
Madam First Master. इसका बोलिए हम लिखते इकडे बघा
Come here. Stand here first.
We will take a photograph.
इंग्लिश को चल के बाहर ना
लड़कियों को खड़ा किया ऐसा लग रहा है Thank you.
I will request, please, Ms. Anderson, please wait for some questions. You have given your biodata to us, so we have few questions. In Nivedita, she has mentioned her hobbies as traveling, cooking. What is the most favorite recipe you would like to do for us?
Good question. I prefer simple things. So, and personally, I feel rice in rice category. Wait, hold on. So, as far as Chinese is concerned, I like to prepare fried rice. But at the same time, in Maharashtrian, I also very good
Masali bhat.
masala bhat as well as a sakhar bhat. Masala.
How do you believe?
That will be the next point. That you know, when are we going to taste that?
That is
Evaluation.
Next meeting is 13th September.
my family members also keep asking me.
Club comes first.
No chances.
Don't come in.
Something. To Hasnain, you have mentioned in your biodata that his notable accomplishment or award is that he got the world's best dad award for 4 consecutive years from his daughters. How are you working on getting world's best husband award?
Actually, when there is a single judge, chances are that they might make a mistake. So I'm working on having a larger bench of
Rahul, you have mentioned traveling, rifle shooting, and table chess. What is the very favorite hobby of yours?
My favorite hobby, I'll say rifle shooting. So I'll tell you, after my 12th, I have joined the military for some time. So I have joined this Black Cat Commando training that was for 90 days. And it was a military camp based out at Ghana. And it was the training what they have given for 3 months was absolutely, that has given me a lot of discipline and a lot of information about rifle, different rifles, like 303 and all these rifles. So I have developed my hobby and I got gold medal in that particular thing.
Wow.
That is something I liked about, and then from there I have always wanted to go in military. But from you know that song, so Jana Tha Chauka and Pahunch Gaye Se Cheen Samajh Gaya Na. So that is all my story all about. But definitely I have kept my hobby and I would like to do that again, given a chance.
Is your wife aware of that?
Yeah, she is.
And last simple trick in your mind?
My first trick was when I was in the 7th standard, and that was in the Himalayas. So in the Garhwal Himalayas. That is my most memorable trip. That was the maiden trip which laid the foundation for the trekking fondness which I found. So that was the one trip which I remember forever.
But do you have any simple trick? Because I have in mind that BTM can arrange a trick.
Yeah, we can go to Karnala. It's very nearby. So the next trip can be managed at Karnala in the monsoon itself.
And I will request Madam Contest Chair, Humorous speech.
I would like to invite all the humorous speech contestants on the stage, please. Yes, I'll make your number. Earn your certificates of here. Okay. Jansi, amongst the many hobbies and interests that she's written in her biographical form, she mentioned dancing. So my question to you would be, is who amongst the BTM club Toastmaster, which Toastmaster would you like to take on a dancing day?
On a dancing day.
And why?
Because I think I don't know whether he's a good dancer or not. Important try and that. He always gave irrespective of how the dancing day would be, I'm sure I would get to laugh at himself. So I enjoy that part.
All the best to that.
Madam Toastmaster.
Damodar, how has Toastmasters helped you asking a girl out?
Okay, must have to try that first and then get back to you in a couple of years.
Okay, but you might have like somehow planned something. We would like to hear that.
Yeah, so I won't call her Bhaiya in the first place. As a person. But yeah, but that's a one-on-one thing, right? So I was kind of saying, it's not in front of an audience. So.
Okay, we can discuss that also. If you have to teach cooking to a man and you have to like instruct him to cook something really quick and easy, what dish would that be?
I'm used to it because the best student for me is my husband, who don't want to learn anything at all. So I feel this is the best learning I do, and the first thing is as everybody says, the rice.
So she'll treat us for a rice party.
Yes.
Raj, your title, your speech title, the title. Who or what inspired you to select the speech title?
It was actually just came to my mind. I was just thinking about the theme on what I should speak, which can be humorous. So I actually was thinking about my sister who she's in US. So typhoons are very often over there. So she always says that we got struck by a typhoon. So I guess I think that's.
I like that title. Manish. One of Manish's most notable accomplishments is 21 years of married life. I would like to know Manish's views on happily ever after.
Ask my wife, not me. She'll be putting up with me for 21 years.
But you mentioned it as your notable.
Yeah, so because she has put up with me, I'm there.
It was special to you. Imagine also
Yeah, and after you answer that question, I want you to also answer us that your favorite quote is, take life with a pinch of salt, a slice of lemon, and a shot of tequila. So when is he inviting us for a shot of tequila?
Anytime, we are lovely.
Thank you so much.
When he buys a new house.
house by the way.
I live the other end of town, near Baikala. I don't know if you know JJ Hospice. Yes. It's the other end of town.
Leslie, before the contest started, he was like, forget the speech, I'm more worried about the centrifuge session. Please don't ask me. So,
You will say
Leslie,
contest till last time.
You forgot his diapers.
It will be worse for you guys to manage that as well. That's not imaginary.
and since I was the contestant, now this is my turn to get back.
Please ask us a question.
So, your interest is watching movies, as you mentioned. If given a chance to take a politician on a movie date, who would that be and which movie?
See, recently I saw on WhatsApp this very beautiful looking female. I had to seek permission from my wife as well, but the Pakistani she would like to take her because I'm not interested in taking any of these oldie politicians. So ultimately she has to enjoy the movie.
Anyway, she likes
All the movies that I have been seeing are all choices of my kids. So it all depends on my kids what they want to show. But we'll have a family outing.
You can't ask him a question.
My question is going to be $1 million question. What inspires you the most? Virendra answered the question as a successful businessman. Now come on. I would like to ask you, why shouldn't it be a successful businesswoman?
Why not?
I'm already married.
Is that your excuse or that your answer?
I didn't know that I was going to be answering a gender-biased question. And I was not prepared for it.
Keep it talking.
Doesn't mean I win that $1 million check.
I told you earlier that this belongs to my wife.
Anyway.
Oh God, you come here. Give me your complex.
Size guys started.
Now you look like 1 year old.
I have to go down a little bit.
Thank you.
Lower.
this wonderful show. I hope you enjoyed it. Each one did. There have been people working behind the scenes with this, and I'd like to recognize some of them. Today's timer, Anand Kumar. Second timer, Vikram Pai. Sergeant at Arms, Neeraj Shah. Come with all my love. Come.
Look here, please.
Though the contest chairs do have a little job to do later on, but I'd like to acknowledge.
Thank you.
This is somebody who has done a greater job today. The Chief Judge.
Just for you, right?
Don't go. Be here. Is it over? I think you have the results.
Yes.
So, can we have Shivani on stage?
Yes. So we will invite the India Governor Sunil Agarwal to distribute the awards. There are no disqualification. So now I will announce the result. First runner-up. Yes. It's evaluation. The first runner-up is Puneet Patel. And any guesses for winner?
Now may I call upon Niru for the announcements.
There have been 3 disqualifications on the basis of timing. The contestant names will not be disclosed. May I please invite last year's District 41 Humorous Speech Champion, Toastmaster Preetham Arikar on the dais. Second runner-up. Any guesses? Jansi Kumar. Any guesses for the first runner-up? Please help me invite Toastmaster Manish Kamra. And the winner is... And the winner is Toastmaster Hasnain.
So Hasnain will represent the Bombay Toastmasters Club at both the event, at both the contest at the area level, to be held on the 20th of September at General Mills, Powai. We'll see you all there, and we hope members of the club will be there to cheer you. Do you have any announcements for the next week? As Vice President.
Yeah, for all members of BTM, I would like to say that the roles, non-speaking, the speech slots have already been taken for the 13th. There are some speech slots open for the second meeting in September. But we have certain roles open like evaluator, gender evaluator, and a couple of other roles. So please send in your mails to me ASAP, because Tuesday I will definitely be closing on it and sending you on the agendas for the meeting on the 13th. The meeting on the 20th, we still have some time, but if those people are giving their P1s, get your speeches approved from your vendors, etc. Standard stuff. But try and close this by Tuesday, please. Thank you.
Two more people that I'd like to acknowledge. One is Sienna. And the other is Talma. I don't think I have any more gifts. May I now have Sunil make some announcements, and we need to close.
joke is hard. A miscarriage, not even. So guys, did you enjoy the contest? Yes. Now 5 clubs from area D3 which comprises BTM, General Mills, Niti, and Wordsmith, and Minors comprises D3. And D5 which comprises Recall, and there are a host of other clubs including Mumbai Toastmasters are going to have a joint area contest on the 20th. Does this sound like a mouth-watering prospect? We feel while we'd like you to come and cheer the fellow participants, but in your journey of learning is going to not be reinventing the wheel, but see how others are spinning the wheel on their journey of Toastmasters. So when you come there, you accumulate various ways, methods of how champions have come to that level and add to your arsenal and your armory and more arrows in your quiver to come and deliver good speeches. So don't take this as only a picnic that you have to come to cheer and you have an option. Here is a power-packed option of seeing the cream of 2 areas competing for both the humorous speech and this contest. And when you say humor, you know why do you think we have humorous speeches? To laugh? Wow. It is said that humans are the only species that frown. And therefore you need the opposite emotion of humor and elation as well. You never seen any other species frown. They are very neutral, they take life as it comes, and therefore to balance it. And it takes a lot of creativity to ask all these people to bring out. In fact, it is acknowledged by the film industry that the comedians have the most difficult job, how to make people laugh. And here are people demonstrating their skills. So you enjoy the set and also learn, because this humor is always useful for everyone. So I hope you all just don't look at it as a option. Okay, we'll come there if we like, and see it as a journey where you can learn a lot, because it will be like having 10 meetings in one day. And 2 areas coming together, you will get such a width of experience. So I think today's contest was bombing in many ways, and I'd like to congratulate all the participants who really did a great job, and the role players are fantastic. Thank you.
And for members of our club, please do not delay in responding to register if you are going to come in on the 20th. There would be a cut-off date. You must understand that there are a lot of logistics that go behind it. And if you do not let us know in advance and then keep telling us at the last minute, it becomes very difficult. So please correspond and communicate if you are going to come or not as soon as you receive the email. Thank you very much for all of you for being here. And how many of you watched the World Championship of Public Speaking this morning? And for those who missed out, let me announce that the winner is from our very own district, which we started. That was District 82. He is a Sri Lankan and his name is Dhananjay. He won the World Championship of Speaking this morning. With that, I will say good night.